Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
And we've got another installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, you think you know how the world works? What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Now, obviously, this is a very obscure character to a lot of people, including me, so I didn't know that much going in. I definitely did my research and I learned a little bit about Doctor Strange going in, and I definitely think that helped because this movie is it's very Marvel, but at the same time, there's a lot of things discussed in this movie that I don't think all average people are going to completely understand because it dives into such a new realm, literally. Now, for the movie overall, I found the movie to be just okay. I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't find it was great. It just kind of felt like kind of paint by numbers, your usual kind of your Marvel layout, their same template. I found it pretty predictable. As the movie, started, like, I bet this will happen, and then this will happen. And all of those things seem to come true. I think the problem is this movie was could have been so different that they decided that they would do everything extremely simple and then they would just rely on the crazy special effects to make it unique. And I just didn't think that worked because the plot is so kind of generic, so basic, so, like I said, predictable. And then they were just like, but look at these really weird, trippy special effects. And they are that. They are very strange, bizarre, interesting to look at. But for me to enjoy a movie, it can't just be, oh, look at these cool special effects. Don't worry about anything else. And I felt like they were just selling the fact on these special effects, and it's like I need more than that to really buy into this movie. And sometimes the special effects weren't the greatest. Sometimes they would look great, but they'd be hard to follow because things are just twisting, bending, and folding into themselves, and it's like hard to watch. You kind of get lost, and you're kind of overwhelmed visually. And then there's some times where they didn't look great at all. You could tell it was CG. And a lot of that was with the cape, because he's got like the cloak of levitation, I believe is what it's called. And the cloak almost has a mind of its own. It moves. And it did not look good a lot of the time. It really, really looked like CG. And that was kind of unfortunate because you're thinking, okay, a Marvel movie, these are going to be great special effects. And while a lot of the kind of matter bending stuff was, but the cape itself and sometimes the way Doctor Strange moved, he was like, really, this is the best you guys could do? So that kind of, I don't know, I definitely noticed that while watching the movie. As far as the other things go, you've got your usual kind of Marvel villain played by Mads Mikkelsen and his little gang of followers. I mean, nothing memorable. They serve their purpose well, like most Marvel villains, but nothing that's ever going to stand out as time goes on. And actually, for me, too, I thought a lot of the jokes didn't work. They weren't, cringeworthy, but it's just kind of like, oh, there's a joke. Yep, okay, that makes sense. It's a Marvel movie. They're going to put a joke there. But not, I mean, there's definitely some that were funny, but it was just kind of like, I don't know. You just felt like you had to put a joke there, kind of. So it just really is kind of like, this movie to me was just kind of disappointing. Like I said, not a bad movie. It was definitely watchable, and I was entertained at parts. But for the most part, it's just kind of like I was in the theater, and I was in the theater. Now, the theater I was in, people were into the movie. They were laughing at a lot of the stuff. They were really into what was going on. So this is very much probably just a personal thing for me because a lot of people seem to be loving this movie. But for me, maybe because I'm not just a Doctor Strange fan either, it just really just kind of fell a little flat for me. I didn't love it. And I'm also a little curious as to how Doctor Strange is going to interact with the Avengers. Like, I can see him playing off Tony Stark because he's kind of this arrogant guy. But for me, it's just his powers are so extreme the way they're presented in this movie. It kind of feels like he's going to be too powerful, or what are the other Avengers going to be really doing, or how is he going to take part in this fight against Thanos in the Infinity War movies or Infinity War movie? So I don't know. I'm just kind of cautious. I don't want to say I'm worried or anything. I'm definitely excited to see him interact with them, but I'm just kind of cautious to how his powers will fit in with the rest of the Avengers, who have been very grounded for the most part. But overall, like I said, I think Doctor Strange for me was just a little too predictable and a little too paint by numbers. So I can get it up to a 60%. I will give Doctor Strange a 60% when I score this thing. Not a good movie. I take it back. It's a good movie. It's not great. I mean, there's nothing that's like, oh man, that was awful or that was cringeworthy. It's just like, okay, that's what it was. So for me, Doctor Strange is a 60%. Kind of disappointing for a Marvel movie for me, but they've got a lot of great stuff coming out, next year with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and all that. So maybe this will just be the one movie that I didn't really love from Marvel. But there you guys have it. That is my review for Doctor Strange. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it as the weekend's almost over. I saw Hacksaw Ridge twice before seeing this one. Please go see Hacksaw Ridge. I would definitely recommend that movie to everyone. But enough being said, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at NeatMovieNews for all the latest in the world of movies. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you back here next time.